कुछ इस तरह जुड़ी हैं तुझसे मेरी राहें कि अब हर रास्ता तेरे घर से गुजरता है। ना पूछो क्या है मंजिल मेरे इस सफर का, जहां तेरा बसेरा वही मेरा जहां है। These are the beautiful lines extracted from the book Noor-E-Qurbat, written by our guest for today. She is a doctor who shares a great passion for Hindi shairi along with general prose style writing. She also finds English literature and research interesting. Aside from writing, she is also fascinated by astronomy and believes that her love for the moon and stars reflects in her writing. On this note, let me welcome the guest for today's episode, the famous writer of the book Noor-E-Qurbat, Deepti. Hi Deepti, welcome to Giridhar's Garady. How are you doing today?
Hello, Giridhar. I'm very excited to be a part of your show. I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you so much. Uh, Well, before we begin, just one question for you. Apart from being excited, how do you feel like being a guest on this podcast?
Right now, this is a very different experience I'm having. And yeah, it's been a while since I wrote the book, so the memories keep coming back.
Wow, that's great. All right. So, Deepti, tell us, what is Noor-E-Qurbat all about?
So I started writing poems around 2018. So a couple of my friends suggested that I take my poems to a next level. So I started an Instagram page, and then later we decided to take a few poems from my diary and then publish it in a book. So that is how Noor-E-Qurbat came into picture. The title of the book basically is that through attachment, through a bond that forms through attachment or intimacy, and what that bond generates, like a light, or it's basically a illuminating effect that that bond has. So that is Noor-E-Qurbat, and Noor-E-Qurbat is like my personal journal where I wrote all my thoughts and what I was going through at a particular period in my life.
Wow, that's amazing, Deepti. I'm curious to know what is the source of motivation or inspiration for you to write this book?
The source of motivation is that I really liked Urdu poetry as a child, and I used to watch a lot of these Pakistani dramas, so the language really interested me. And my friends are also a little, towards the Hyderabadi. They are a little through Hyderabadi Hindi. I learned Urdu, and my basic language, the love I have for language, be it English, Telugu, or Hindi, it comes from my grandfather. So I think it's a lot of factors summed up together that drove me through poetry.
Oh, that's nice. So, how did you get this creative thought of using the personalities of sun and moon in your book, Noor-E-Qurbat?
I am very fascinated by the whole sky, sun, moon, stars concept. I used to always sit in the balcony, look at the stars, and I was a very introverted child. I didn't have many friends, so my books were my best friends. So even while I was reading, I used to read about stuff and correlate, make up my own stories and stuff like that. So I think sun, moon, and stars is basically a concept of syzygy. Syzygy is something like three planetary what do you call three planetary objects, like it could be the sun, the earth, and the moon. It could be the sun, the stars, and the moon. If they are in a line, they are in alignment, that forms a syzygy. So my Instagram page was also called syzygy and stars. So that is how I think, you relate, like the sun and the moon, they are never in a line together, like, except for one time, like that's the next eclipse time. So I think they are the greatest lovers and the best friends. Though they're not together, they shine for each other. They make each other grow at one point. I think they don't make sense without the other. So I think that is how I placed the sun, the moon, and stars in a line, and I started writing poetry about them. I made a story that, you know, I made a story of friendship, I made a story about love, I made a story about heartbreak, put the three in a place. I created a whole concept, and that's how Noor-E-Qurbat came into picture.
Oh, superb, superb. That's nice. You sound to be highly creative and imaginative person.
That is my only USP.
Great. So, Deepti, share with us in your voice at least two shairis from your book and tell us on the context that you have used them.
Okay. So basically, my poems are that though, the main parts of the poem are related to the sun and the moon, they basically depict heartbreak. So a couple of poems here I have. तन्हा छोड़कर हमें हौसला भी देते हो, सांसें छीन कर जीने की दुआ भी देते हो, एक तरफ जुदाई का तास्किरा जारी है और तुम मुस्कुराने का मशवरा भी देते हो. So this part of the poem, this is basically, I remember when I wrote this. I wrote this when I think this was on this particular day when my father and I were discussing about how I took a break from my medical career. And all my friends came home to tell me that not quitting is the only option I have. So that was when I wrote this poem. So it means that you leave me alone in the fight and you still give me the strength to fight. You take away my breath and you still pray for my life. The story of our separation is so fresh, and you keep me the in a way, like you maintain that cordial thing that we keep smiling through it. Like we pushed each other so much that we, even through the separation, we smiled at each other and we went forward. So that is what this meaning means. And it is basically a point in life where, two people can be away from each other and still be the greatest strengths they have. So that is what this poem depicts. And the second poem, चांद भी देखो आज हैरान है, आजकल मौसम भी जैसे बेईमान है, कल तक जो तारे दुआ में टूटा करते थे, आज हमारे फिराक पर टूटे हैं.
Wow, 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 wow.
Thank you. So this concept came to me because I was always fascinated with shooting stars. And because we live in a cosmopolitan Hyderabad, it's in a very urban city because the tall buildings, we don't usually see shooting stars anymore. And I always believe that if you truly pray, things happen. And you know the concept behind shooting stars, right? They break so that one of the wish of somebody comes true. So this poem is basically, it comes from that concept.
Wow, just kudos to your imagination, kudos to your poetry, and kudos to your creativity above
And
all.
thank you.
Okay. So, Deepti, tell me, in what way you managed to collaborate all your thoughts while writing this book?
Like I said, this book is just a collection of poems that are very randomly picked. I wrote around 150 to 160 poems in a couple of years, in a span of 2 years actually. And one random day, I met my friend and he pushed me to start an Instagram page. And later, after a year, we decided to publish the book. So yeah, I think a lot of coaxing from my friends led to both publishing the book and talking about this in public.
Oh, that's nice.
I've
So,
had a great support system, so I think that is the reason why this poetry or anything came into light.
yeah, that's good to hear. In fact, when we have an artist inside us and we have a strong support from the people around us,
Yeah,
would create magic. In
yeah.
fact,
Thank you.
okay. So, how much time did it take for you to complete this book?
I wrote the poems over a span of 2 years, and it took me a month and a half to compile the poems. I did my translations too, and with the publication and stuff, it took me a couple of months. Yeah, 2 months to get the book published.
Oh, that's nice. So, what are the challenges that you experienced while writing this book?
Sometimes I used to leave poems midway because my imagination was not very strong in the beginning. And then I think Urdu grammar, Hindi grammar has been a very, difficult thing. But luckily, I have had friends to mentor me, and I used to go to my. I had a couple of mentors, my medical school professors who had come home to teach me during my medicine. They were all, Muslims. So that is how Urdu was a little easier for me to navigate grammarly. I think because of my teachers. Yeah, I took
Awesome.
help from them with grammar issues and the gender. Like in Hindi, the gender is different. So my teachers helped me a lot.
Awesome. So, Deepti, just give us some insight about your future work.
I am currently thinking about writing something in English though. But yeah, it will take some time because currently I am in a lot of other things. I have too many things on my plate right now, but definitely I will write. I will write because I got married now. That's a whole different scene right now. I also have to
Yes.
work. So yeah.
Sure. We'll wait for your next publication.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully that will be really soon.
Yeah, great. So, Deepti, lastly, just one message for our listeners with respect to your book, Noor-E-Qurbat.
With respect to my book, I think it has been a very personally enriching journey for me, and the book is very simple in simple words because it was what I was experiencing on a day-to-day life basis. And I think more than the book, my love for the language is what reflects through it. Even though I don't believe I did justice to what I was going through at that point through this book. It was just a very, childish attempt, like my father says. I really have to pick up my language skills to write further. So I hope everybody reads it and understands how simple and beautiful Urdu poetry is. And it's a soul language. Urdu is a soul language. I hope people will fall in love with the language like I did.
Oh, that's great. So, just for our listeners' sake, can you just let us know where we can find your book online?
I think it is available on both Amazon and Flipkart. And I think the publishers, my Blue Rose publishers, are my publishers. I think it's available on their website as well.
Superb, superb. Thank you so much, Deepti. But yeah, before we wind up, we have a small rapid fire round. Are you in?
Yes, please.
Yeah, great. So, Deepti, my first question in this rapid fire round for you, sun or moon?
Moon. Always moon.
Okay, because it's so cool.
Because I used to stay up in the night. I actually fell in love with the moon before I fell in love with my husband. So the moon.
Good, good. Okay. Hindi or Urdu poetry?
Urdu poetry.
Yeah, it has depth in it.
It's a soul language. I connect to Urdu like nothing.
Good. A writer or poet?
A writer. I don't. I like I said, poetry is a very childish attempt. I think I'll definitely become a decent writer if I put in effort. But poetry, I think it'll take a time. It'll take more time for me to get into it again.
Okay. Wish you all the best for your writing purpose.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Early morning or late night writing?
Late night writing.
Okay. The love or friendship?
Friendship.
Okay. Book reading or writing?
Writing.
Okay. Physical handwriting or virtual keyboard typing?
Physical handwriting. I'm technologically very challenged. I cannot, type to save my life.
Oh, it's rare to find such gems these days. Uh,
I was born in the wrong time.
okay. Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Okay. Google or Amazon?
Amazon.
Because it published your book.
No, because I do a lot of online shopping on Amazon. I think
Oh, okay,
that
okay. Actually, I prepared this question keeping in mind with respect to your publication.
okay.
That's the reason I asked.
I prefer Amazon because whenever I'm stressed, the only app I open is Amazon.
Oh, awesome. So, Dipti, my final question to you. I hope that it is not going to be a challenging one for you. Let's see what you're going to say. Yashashvi or Dipti?
Yashasvi.
Awesome, awesome.
I don't even have to think twice to answer that.
Okay, that's good to hear from you, Dipti.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you so much, Dipti, for being with us today. We hope to see you once again on the podcast in future.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. I hope so too. I had a great time talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you once again, Deepti, and we wish you all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So here's the end of today's episode, listeners. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed listening to this episode. I'll be back next week with another amazing guest. See you.